Welcome back to the 7th episode of the Diving Into Sports podcast with your hosts Lyle
and Nash.
Henry. Let's dive into today's topic. So it was an eventful week on the PGA Tour with the Puerto Rico Open and the Arnold Palmer Invitational finishing up with Kurt Kitayama and Nico Echavarria winning. Two maybe people you might not expect to win, but we were happy about it. And then the Players' Championship, round 1 is suspended. It's finishing up tomorrow. So there's a lot of golf to talk about. It's so exciting for us, and we've been heavily following it, so we'll give you the best insight we can. And the main thing we're covering today is the Arnold Palmer Invitational, and Nash is a big Kitayama fan. So how do you look back at that week?
I was super happy for Kurt to get his first PGA Tour win, as he's one of my favorite golfers. He's been on a long road to get to this point, as he's been on over about 10 other tours before the PGA Tour, including the Canadian Tour, Red.com Tour, Asian Tour, Japan Tour, China Tour, Korean Tour, and Australasia Tour. Those are just some out of the many that he's traveled on to get here. So I think it's an amazing story, and I'm really proud of him because I like him a lot. It was a great finish in my eyes.
Yeah, and just right behind him, obviously, Rory, I mean, that's no surprise at all. But then Harris English tied for second. Very surprising for me. He's kind of been struggling lately. Won the Travelers just over a little over a year ago. Not this past year, but the year before. So he's won in the past few years, but still, finishing this high at tournament like the Arnold Palmer, it came out of nowhere for me. I mean, he's with names like Rory and Scheffler and Spieth and Cantlay, Tyrrell Hatton. That's why the fact that Kitayama won shows that him and all other golfers like him at his level can play with anyone. It's not just the big names at the top always. And I was happy because we've seen Rahm win a lot lately, and it's nice for him, but you like to mix up the winners.
It's another thing interesting to know about Kitayama is that he went to UNLV, where one of his main coaches there was J.C. Deacon, who's now the coach at Florida. Also, Kitayama's caddy, Tim Tucker, that's this past week, who helped him win. He's the former caddy of Bryson DeChambeau. They split up in 2021, but Kitayama got Tucker because of his brother Daniel. Tim and Daniel had known each other from a club in Nevada, but Kitayama fired his caddy after his kind of blow up in round 4 at the AT&T Pebble Beach, and then after that he got Tim Tucker, and it worked out really well at Bay Hill. So that's something that's important to note moving forward, that the caddies do play a big role in how the player themselves succeed. And Kitayama really found his game at Bay Hill.
For sure. The caddy is always underappreciated. I mean, I'm sure it's different for different golfers, but caddies do a lot behind the scenes that people don't see, and that's a great story there. Another golfer I want to give a shout out to that finished high in the Arnold Palmer Invitational, Ryan Fox. He mainly plays on the DP World Tour. He's from New Zealand, a very likable guy. Had a 5 under round 4, vaulting him to 4 under and into the top 15. That gives him momentum. He's planning on playing a stretch on the PGA Tour here going forward, and I know one of Nash's favorite, another Kiwi, Danny Lee, went to live, so it's nice to see Ryan Fox up there on the PGA Tour, and then another European, Francesco Molinari. But what was your favorite, because we've been talking about how much you like Kitayama, Nash. What was your favorite moment of the week for Kurt?
I'd say probably when he rolled in that birdie putt in round 3 to finish his round, and then Spieth missed his. That really showed that he can play with the top stars. That was a great putt to take solo lead entering the final 18 holes. So that really, I'd say, capitalized the whole week, because it just shows that even though before this week he was below all these stars, I mean, he's 6th now on the FedEx Cup rankings, 19th in the world. I mean, he's one of the best golfers out there, and it proved last week in Florida.
Yeah, and I don't know how you can do a podcast about this tournament without mentioning the amateur Ludwig Aberg from Texas Tech. He's
originally from Sweden.
Yes, he's just a wonderful golfer. He's gonna be a great PGA Tour pro in a few years. He's in the field at the Valspar next week, and I mean, top 25 at Arnold Palmer Invitational for an amateur. Way to go, Ludwig. Happy to see that. Now,
I was just going to add one more thing quickly. One, I'd say the main thing that helped Kitayama win, though, was his ball striking was excellent last week, and then also his driving. I mean, he's a power hitter. I mean, his nickname's Quadzilla. He's a very good power hitter in PGA Tour compared to the other top stars, which helped him greatly last week. And then also, I want to give a shout out quickly to I track him on Twitter. Follow Tracker Kurt on Twitter.
Well, there you go. And let's move on to the Puerto Rico Open with Nico Echavarria, the Colombian, winning by 2 strokes. And then Akshay Bhatia coming in second and getting a special temporary membership on the PGA Tour with that finish. So big week for Akshay, even though he didn't come out on top. And then go down the list here. There's many names we can talk about. Wesley Bryan in 6th. He's a very, very popular golfer, but best finish in 6 years for him with his brother on the bag. Another brother on the bag for Harry Higgs, Alex Higgs, and they worked as a great duo together. Alex helps him out a lot on the course, obviously being brothers. They know each other very well, so it's been working out, as you can see, with tied 7th finish at the Puerto Rico Open, and it's great, I mean, because Higgs is my favorite PGA golfer for many reasons. He has a great personality, great attitude, just a great overall person, and I actually have a tracker for him on Twitter. Follow me at Tracking Higgsy, so follow Nash at Tracker Kurt, follow me at Tracking Higgsy. We will put those links to our Twitter accounts in the description. We'd love if you could follow us. But anyway, yes, Harry Higgs, top 10 finish. Let's keep it rolling going forward. Love to see it. Nash, who else at the top interests you?
Well, I thought the winner, Nico Echavarria, even though, unlike Kurt, he wasn't the fastest to win 2 DP World Tour events. He didn't win 3.6 million in Puerto Rico, and he isn't 5'7". He's actually on the taller side. But something those two had in common last week was that they had unlikely odds to pull off the victory, but they both ended up winning. He was kind of an underdog, but he proved, just like Kurt, that he can play with some top stars, and I think his future will be very bright moving forward. The Colombian, who resembles the other Colombian, Camilo Villegas, a lot.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not like that win for him? A rookie, did great at the Korn Ferry Tour Championship.
Got his card in Newburgh.
To win on the PGA Tour as a rookie is just incredible. Moving on, Ryan Gerard, tied 11th. Oh, goodness. If Harry Hall would have parred the last hole, then Gerard would have moved into the top 9, which would have given him a special temporary membership on the PGA Tour. But no, Harry birdied it, bumping Gerard out, tied 11th. Still, 2 top 11 finishes on the PGA Tour in consecutive weeks for a guy that, I mean, so young and doing so well. It's wild, but I mean, it doesn't surprise me because he's a great golfer, and he'll be a household name in a few years, trust me. Another golfer up there that I know you like, Nash, Heinrich Norlander, the big Swede. He finished in the top 15.
Yes, he did very well last week in Puerto Rico, and he's a guy that hasn't won yet on the PGA Tour, but he has on the Korn Ferry Tour, including at the defunct Hotel Fitness Championship in Fort Wayne in 2015, I believe, or maybe 2016. I believe 2015.
Yeah, so that pretty much concludes the top 15, gives our perspective on the Puerto Rico Open. So now, moving forward to this week's tournament, the Players' Championship, called the fifth major by some people just because of its magnitude. Classic 17th hole, classic all around. The whole course is a classic. TPC Sawgrass Stadium course. And Chad Ramey leads after...
Chad Ramey, I believe.
Chad Ramey leads at 8 under after Thursday, but round 1 was suspended, so we will finish that up tomorrow morning. But yes, Nico Echavarria, he's at 1 under, and Kitayama, he's at 1 over. The two winners last week, they're doing fine this week, so let's see if they can both make the cut. That would be great for them. I watched a fair amount of the Players today, and it's already shaping up to be a great tournament.
Yeah, and I think that Kitayama could rise again this week. I mean, he got an eagle on hole 16 towards the end of his round, and I just think he's continuing to climb, and I would not be surprised at all if he gets a top 20 finish at TPC Sawgrass.
Yeah, Taylor Pendrith, too, tied third. He's a great person. I've heard some things about him that make me like him. He's tied third, under 5. Yeah, I think he could win, or at least make a run. And same with Ben Griffin, under 5. Justin Suh.
Yeah, he could definitely make a run. The winner of the Korn Ferry Championship in Newburgh. And then Minwoo Lee, who's played very well on the DP World Tour. Young from Australia. I think he could definitely make a run and win in Palm Valley this week in Florida.
Who else interests your eye up at the top there? Because I know
Christian Bezuidenhout, another name that I think is just dying to get his first PGA Tour win. And I mean, he's played super well for him. And I think it could happen this week, really.
Yeah, watch out for Victor Hovland, too. He's up there. He's been on a roll. The Norwegian, yeah, watch out for him, tied 12th. We will be very excited to watch the Players. Good luck to everyone. Congrats to Kurt and Nico for winning this past week. Those were great tournaments. Now another great tournament ahead at the Players. You can watch
on Golf Channel and NBC.
And we will be happy to catch up with you again next week as we recap the Players. But for now, that's it for us.
Thanks for tuning in.
Remember, you can listen to Diving into Sports on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, CastBox, Pocket Casts, and Stitcher. We'd love it if you could follow us on all of those platforms. And check out our Twitter account. Our handle is @NashAndLyle.
By the way, we're now available on Google Podcasts as well.